Our previous video was about the house at 657 Boulevard. You will find the link of the watcher in the description box below. All these videos are translated in Urdu, Hindi as well. Also, we are following the Idaho murder case. Visit the channel to know more about the ongoing stabbing case of 4 students. I'm your host C and welcome to Watchlist by Miss C. On August 4, 1892, Lizzie found her father Andrew Borden dead, struck 10 or 11 times in the head with a sharp instrument. Shortly after, their maid, Bridget Sullivan, whom they also called as Maggie, discovered the body of Lizzie's stepmother Abby, her head smashed to pieces. On August 11, 1892, Lizzie, aged 32, was arrested for the murder of her father and stepmother. Lizzie was born on July 19, 1860, to Sarah and Andrew Borden. She was the younger among the two sisters. Andrew married Abby in 1865, 3 years after Lizzie's mother died. Andrew became a successful businessman and together with Abby, he raised Lizzie and her sister Emma. The Borden house at 92 2nd Street in Fall River, Massachusetts looked wealthy from outside, but Andrew Borden was known for his stinginess and gave Lizzie and Emma a very average lifestyle despite the large amount of wealth he had. On the other hand, Andrew was very generous with Abby and her family and gave gifts of real estate to various members of Abby's family. This enraged the sisters a lot and they fought with their father oftenly on property matters. Lizzie stated that she called her stepmother Mrs. Borden and believed that she married her father just for his wealth. Bridget Sullivan, whom they called Maggie, was the Borden's 25-year-old live-in maid, testified that Lizzie and Emma rarely ate meals with their parents and had a cold relationship with them. Tension had been growing within the Borden family in the months before the murders. The night before the murders, John Mose, the brother of Lizzie and Emma's deceased mother, visited and was invited for a few days to stay with the Bordens to discuss business matters with his brother-in-law, Andrew. John Mose arrived in the evening of August 3 and slept in the guest room that night. After breakfast the next morning, Andrew and John went to the sitting room where they chatted for nearly an hour. John left around 8:48 a.m. planning to return to the Borden house for lunch at noon, and Andrew left for his morning walk sometime after 9 a.m. Abby went upstairs to clean the guest room sometime between 9 a.m. and 10:30 a.m. According to the forensic investigation, Abby was first struck on the side of her head with a hatchet. She fell face down on the floor. The killer then hit directly 17 times to the back of her head. When Andrew returned around 10:30 a.m., the maid went to unlock the door and found it jammed. Maggie later testified that she heard Lizzie laughing after this, but she didn't see her but guessed that the laughter was coming from the second floor. And if Abby was dead by that time on the second floor, then her body definitely would have been visible to Lizzie. But Lizzie later denied and told that she didn't go to the second floor during that time. Andrew asked Lizzie about Abby and she told him that a messenger had delivered Abby a letter to visit a sick friend, but nobody knows who that friend was. Sullivan stated that she had then removed Andrew's boots and helped him change into his slippers before he lay down on the sofa for a nap. But later, the crime scene photos showed Andrew wearing boots, so she was lying too. Lizzie then went out and Sullivan went to take a nap in her bedroom on third floor after cleaning the windows. She said that she was resting when around 11:10 a.m. Lizzie called her downstairs saying, "Maggie, come quick, father is dead." Andrew was slumped on the couch in sitting room, struck 10 or 11 times with a hatchet-like weapon. His wounds suggested that he had been asleep when attacked. Lizzie continuously changed her statements. First, she said that Abby went to visit a sick friend, but later stated that she thought Abby had returned. Officers who interviewed her reported that they disliked her attitude. Some said that she was too calm and poised. Emma was away visiting when the murder happened, so all eyes were on Lizzie. At the trial, police admitted that they didn't do a proper search of the house because Lizzie wasn't feeling well. In the basement, police found two hatchets, two axes, and a hatchet head with a broken handle. This hatchet head was a suspected murder weapon, but it was also not tested further. A mysterious illness had stricken the Borden household before the murders, so the family's milk and Andrew's and Abby's stomachs were tested for poison, but none was found. Area residents suspected Lizzie of purchasing poison from a local drugstore. Lizzie's defense was that she inquired about the acid in order to clean her furs. Lizzie's friend Alice Russell stayed with them in the house and saw Lizzie tearing up a dress and putting it on fire. In her defense, Lizzie said that the dress was covered in paint. However, it isn't clear if this was the dress Lizzie had been wearing on the day of murders. Lizzie's behavior during investigation was erratic. She often refused to answer the questions. She also contradicted herself on different accounts. She didn't give a clear answer of where she was exactly during the time of murders. Lizzie's trial took place in New Bedford on June 5, 1893. 5 days before the trial, on June 1, another axe-murder occurred in Fall River. The victim, Bertha Manchester, was found hacked to death in her kitchen. The similarities between this murder and the Borden's murder was same, but later the killer of Bertha Manchester was caught. He had no connection with the Borden's murder. No bloody clothing was found in the Borden house. No one focused on the fact that why Lizzie burned her dress. Lizzie changed her statements oftenly. At first she said she was in the kitchen, then later changed to that she was in the barn during the time of murders. During the trial, Lizzie also fainted once. On June 30th, 1893, the jury acquitted Lizzie of the murders. Upon exiting the courthouse, she told reporters she was the happiest woman in the world. Bridget Sullivan died in 1948, and on deathbed she confessed that she lied on the stand in order to protect Lizzie. Lizzie and Emma moved into a large modern house with live-in maids, a housekeeper, and a coachman. Although free, Lizzie was considered guilty by many of her neighbors and so never enjoyed acceptance in the community. Her reputation was further tarnished when she was accused of shoplifting in 1897. In 1905, Emma abruptly moved out of the house that she shared with Lizzie, and the two never spoke again. Lizzie died of pneumonia in Fall River, Massachusetts on June 1, 1927, and only a few attended her burial. Emma Borden died days later in New Hampshire. The cloud of suspicion that hung over Lizzie never disappeared. Many novels were written on her life, and many movies were made, including The Legend of Lizzie Borden, 1975, Lizzie Borden Took an X, 2014, and Lizzie, 2018. A poem on Lizzie was made. Lizzie Borden took an axe and gave her mother 40 whacks. When she saw what she had done, she gave her father 41. Andrew Borden now is dead. Lizzie hit him on the head. Up in heaven he will sing. On the gallows she will swing. The Borden House is now a museum and operates a bed and breakfast with 1890s styling. People visit this house and some even stay for a night to experience ghost hauntings. Share your thoughts in the comment section below. Thank you.